Hello and welcome along to another episode of this Snooker 19 career, the other O'Sullivan with me, Daniel. It's episode 30 and today we're back for the second round of the World Championships as we continue our run towards the final. We're playing our third successive opponent ranked higher than us in the world rankings and we're hoping to cause yet another shock. There's big prize money at stake, but that means very little to us. We want to try and emulate our namesake Ronnie by winning a trophy in the final event of the series. Can we add to our Scottish Open from earlier in the season by winning the biggest prize in the world of snooker? We'll go and pick up the action in a minute as we're already midway through this match, but firstly a massive thank you to everyone that continues to support the series. If you have missed any of it so far, then do go back and catch up from the beginning to enjoy a bit of the roller coaster ride. We had plenty of disappointments along the way, as well as of a couple of the highs that we've mentioned. But we'll go and get into this match in a moment, looking to make it past round 2. We're playing world number 8 Kyren Wilson in a slightly extended best of 5 frame match. We've had relatively mixed success against him this season, 1 win and 1 defeat in our 2 meetings. So let's go and see where the match stands at the moment and see some of the action at the table. So we'll go and click into it now. You can see that the score is 2-0 to Sean O'Sullivan. We lead pretty comfortably early on, but a really decent start to this match, and the most pleasing thing in the first frame is that we won a really prolonged safety exchange, and all that work and the tournaments we'd sacrificed along the way to try and make ourselves a better safety player has really paid dividends in this match as we dominated the safety exchanges. We then made a pretty decent break as well, essentially won the first frame in 1 visit, and after 10 minutes of safety exchanges that took brilliant concentration. The second was a bit more scrappy, but we won it with 2 decent breaks. So you can see we've got the break off for the third frame, so we'll go and see if we can get the cue ball safe. It's a shot we often have mixed levels of success with, so we're going to go for our usual 40% power. Worked pretty well in the first frame again, and if we get into a safety exchange, we now feel a little bit more confident of succeeding. We've left a little red hanging out there, but it's now been covered by the brown or blue. In fact, there might be a little gap between the two actually, so we probably shouldn't say that just yet. The crowd are clapping, which is normally a good sign, and I think Kyren Wilson's missed everything there. The ball's coming back down the table, the cue ball, although it's not going to leave a red on, so we will probably make him retake it. It is going to be a missed everything, a foul and 4-point lead already. We're going to force him to retake it as it's a bad position, and I don't know if he can get the cue ball too safe. Again the crowd are clapping, no idea why. That one's far better from Kyren Wilson, but it looks to have a little bit too much power on it, and again we should be able to put him in trouble here. We've just got to judge that power right to make sure we get past the baulk line, and then we're forcing him into more defensive shots, which could potentially put us in a dominant position. So we're going to go for about 32%, as we're already halfway down the table. I've no idea why the crowd are still clapping, as we've left the red hovering over the pocket, but the yellow has come to our rescue. It's just nudged us perfectly behind the brown, and it takes that red out of the equation. Kyren Wilson's coming in again. I think we've just got to ignore the fans now. They're clapping relentlessly as the cue ball's going towards the corner. John Virgo would be shouting at that point, but unfortunately it doesn't drop in. I'm not sure that we can get to that red either. The blues come to Kyren Wilson's rescue, so we're going to have to play safe off one of these reds and just try and get back up the table. So we want as thin a contact as possible, and we're going to go for 38% power, 37 as it happens to be now, and even then we've slightly underhit it. Can we get back up the table and cover those 2 loose reds, or are we going to leave Kyren Wilson a half chance and attempt to try and start his break? I think the red might have been covered by the blue there. Let's wait and see what he does. He goes for the one that's inside, and just a very thin contact, but the cue ball's up the table and the red's hovering over the corner, so we're about to get a chance to start the break. Let's make sure we pot the red very quickly, as again we've come out on top in a safety exchange. We've just got to find a way to get on the black, and I'm not sure that's going to be very easy from here. I think we've got to screw forward instead, and we just hope that we'll stay on a colour. 32% power, will the red drop in? It does, but we've hit it a little bit too lightly. We've covered the black as the reds are in the way, but we should have the blue to the top corner pocket, followed by another easy red to the same corner. Then we've got to think about splitting the pack, something that's obviously going to be a bit more difficult, and as we try to get down for the red, we've got to make sure we get the pot first. 35% power, the blue's heading towards the top left, that's gone in easy peasy. We're really starting to find our angles well again, and now we've got another red that's relatively simple before we have to think about how we split the pack. So we're going to screw forward here, 20 odd % power needed, nothing too extreme, we're just making sure we stay on a colour, and again we've got that one completely wrong, but we have got the green to the top corner pocket. It's going to be very hard to get on the red though, so one more colour and then a safety shot. We've set the green up for the top corner pocket then, and we just want to try and get as far back down the table as possible. We've got to try and avoid this yellow here, which is off its spot near the top cushion. If we can do that, we can get halfway back down, and although we do cannon off it in the end, we might have even got on this red at the bottom of the pack. I'm not sure if it quite reaches the potting angle, but either way it's a pretty brilliant effort, and in the end I think we might be able to pot this, you know. It's a risky shot, as if it does go wrong we're almost certainly out of position, and we'll definitely leave at least one red on, but it's left us a bit of a tempter. It was never gonna pot, and we've now left the red on. Kyren Wilson's got a golden chance to get into it. Let's just see if he pots the first red in colour, and if he does we'll leave him to get on with his break. The red drops in pretty easily, he's got a good angle on the black or blue, and then there's another loose red available, so I'd imagine he'll get at least a few points here. Kyren Wilson's potted the blue as well, and he's left the red perfectly to the bottom corner, so we'll just let him crack on with his break now, as the next red's missed though. We won't leave him to get on with his break. Kyren Wilson has left us a chance. It's not going to be a potting one, but a chance to play an aggressive safety. We'll go down the opposite side of the table, just to make sure we don't collide with that loose red, and we want to get as many safe as possible, as we've already got a nice 8-point lead. So just over 30% power, try and get back down the table, and if we can get in behind that yellow or brown, it would be a fantastic outcome. I don't think we're going to quite manage it in the end, but all of the reds are pretty safe and tied up. Kyren Wilson going down the table, much more aggressive safety shot there, missed the red on the way up, which works well for him, and I think he's actually covered most of the potting angles of the red, and look where the cue balls ended up, right in behind the green there. Could not have placed that better if he tried, so we're just going to go all out power and hope that we get a bit of luck here. 40%, and it's going to bounce off a couple of cushions, and I think we might have hit the pink first, but either way we've left loads of reds on. So Kyren Wilson's going to have a great chance here. He's added 6 points, so he's only 2 behind, and the reds are spread pretty beautifully. So let's just make sure he pots this first one, and then we'll leave him to build a break. I'm not sure we'll get another chance in this frame. Well, Kyren Wilson has let us off the hook here. 12-point lead he's got now after reaching 26, but he has missed a simple red and they're spread pretty beautifully. And this is very similar to the chance we had in the first frame, which we mopped up and cleared pretty quickly. So we're just going to try and utilise this break. We've got loads of red spread, the black's pretty much out of play, but we can use the pink or the blue as we go along. And that's what we had to do last time as well, as we didn't pot a black in the entire break. So let's just try and get back down the table. We've got to find a red that's loose here. The early shot's actually some of the hardest ones, and we might have to hit this pretty lightly, otherwise we could be in a little bit of trouble. I'm not quite sure what I'm aiming for here, but hopefully we'll be able to get on something. It's 19% power, the blue drops in. I'm aiming for that red at the bottom on the left, just below that pink spot if we can get round it, and unfortunately we can't, so we're in a world of trouble. But this other red should pot to the corner. We can just about get to the potting angle. So getting onto a colour from here could be difficult, probably one of the biggest challenges we'll face in this frame, but if we can get past this then it should be pretty easy. We come past the black and make a lovely route for the pink or blue, and although the corner where the pink would go is covered, I think we should be able to pot the blue easily. So let's see if we can get to the angle for this pink. We're right, it is covered by the other red, and although you can get to the potting angle of the black, I'm not sure that's going to be the best option at the moment. So I'm going to stick simple, we'll go with the blue. We won't get the best angle on the red, but at least we'll make sure we add the 5 points. We'll try and screw back and get a good angle on the red, the one to the bottom right hand corner. We don't need to do anything particularly special, we just need to try and get some sort of angle. 16% power, hopefully the blue will go in. It just about drops and we've got half a decent angle, so we should be able to pot the red pretty comfortably. We may even be able to get to one to the other pocket. I don't think that's a really easy pot, although it is a potential option. Maybe we can go for it, and we'll leave the other one for a bit later. So 48% power. Let's hope we don't collide with a black on the way up. We just miss it and we fly past all the colours, and it looks like we're going to be going brown or yellow. Alternatively, we've got the blue to the bottom left corner, but it's not been the best start to the break so far. We're back in the lead though after 13 points, and hopefully the brown gives us an angle to get back down. If we can get down the table and get onto one of the reds, hopefully that'll be the start of the fluency. We're trying to aim for the one just below the pink spot. Either one would be quite good, but I'm not sure if we're going to be able to get on the angle. We're working with pretty fine margins at the moment, and that's not something I'm normally that good at. We've underhit this one, but I think we're going to get away with it. We were aiming for the top one below the pink to the right, but I think we're going to have to go for the bottom one now. The top one just about pots actually, so we are going to stick with that one. It's a little bit of a finer angle to make happen, but we should be able to get on the black from it. That will allow us to add more points and of course get closer to victory. So 45% power, the red drops in, and we're onto the black quite nicely, and we should be able to get on another red from here. Hopefully we can pot at least 3 or 4 of these and edge very close to victory, if not getting over the line in one go. We've set up the black then, and we're just trying to screw back ever so slightly, trying to be very subtle with our changes of pace and spin, just to make sure we stay in and around the reds, to make sure we've got at least 2 options every time. If we run out of position very slightly then, we should have at least a backup option. So this red's going to drop in as well, and we should stay on the black pretty nicely. No need to do too much with the cue ball there, we just need to keep it in and around the area. So again the black should pop pretty comfortably, and we've just got to choose a red from here. I think we could come up and go for one to the bottom corner, so let's just go and get that out the way. We've got to find a path between the 2 reds there, and we managed to do so pretty comfortably in the end. We're not going to worry about the 2 tricky ones for now, just get the other 3 out the way, and that should build us a pretty big lead, and enough to at least get us victory. Particularly if we're potting the pink or the black, that should give us enough quite easily. So we're going to try and come past the pink here, maybe even come up for the blue actually, just makes things a little bit easier, and we don't have to worry so much about position. So we've got the red to the corner and we're coming up for the blue. Plenty of screw back on this one, and we've just got straight on the blue, which is perfect and allows us to then go for either red. The pink would have gone to the corner, but unfortunately the other red's in the way, so we are going to have to be a bit patient for now as we just try and stun through from the blue. Not too much power on it, we want to stay above the pink spot, and then we've got a choice of either red to the corner, depending on which one looks easiest. So we'll go for the red to the bottom right, just freeze up the black a little bit more too, and we'll hit it as lightly as we can in the end. 12% power should do the trick. We've overhit it slightly, but we're still on the black. A little bit low, so we will have to come up, but it may mean we can get on that one to the left side of the table. We'll try and screw back slightly from it, just to see if we can get a decent angle. 35% power, the black goes in, which is the most important thing, and that really isn't the best positional shot in the end, so it is going to be a difficult pot from here. Having said that, the break's up to 47, the lead's up to 35, so we probably only actually need 2 more reds and a colour with at least one of them. So we're just going to try and roll this one down the cushion. We've overhit it slightly, which may cause difficulty. It hits the side and goes in. We've not really got on a colour very well, but the blue's pretty straight to the top corner. So with that in mind, it should be another 5 points and a chance for us to get on the next red. We're going to try and stay above the pink spot here, just to make sure we don't get in any trouble. 53% power, and we've underhit it slightly. The cue ball stays a little higher, and that's not necessarily a bad thing here. It puts us on the red, which will seal the frame. We're now 41 ahead with 43 remaining. It's a half-century break at a brilliant time, and we've looked more fluent in this match than we have for a number of months. The red drops in, and that is the frame over, barring snookers of course, and this one should stop him coming back to the table, as it'll put us 49 ahead. We're just 35 left on the table. In fact, I'm not even going to try and get to the potting angle for it, because we don't want to risk snookering ourselves. We're just going to try and come back across the table to make sure we're able to get a touch on it. And in fact, I may have still snookered myself here, although I think we should be able to get an outside edge, though we cannot get to the potting angle, so we're just going to tap it and hope Wilson concedes. 30% power, the red's been been connected with, and we put a little distance between cue ball and object ball as it collides with the blue on its way up the table. Let's see what happens with Kyren Wilson here. He's conceded and we win 3-0. One of our most convincing displays in a number of weeks, and certainly our best one of the championship so far. Some brilliant breaks in there, 74 was the highest, and another half-century one in that frame as well. 221 points out of the match, and Kyren Wilson only managed 45 all game. Brilliant victory and a whitewash 3-0, and we're starting to find form at the right time in this tournament. We'll go through and see who we're playing in the next round as we edge another step closer to finishing with glory. Well, we face a player that's ranked below the last two opponents in the world rankings. Number 13, Jack Lisowski, another brilliant young player in the snooker world, alongside Kyren Wilson, who we just beat. After getting past the experienced campaigner Sean Murphy, we're facing some of the young guns on the way. This one is the quarter-final stage, so just 2 away from that elusive final, and we've already guaranteed 50 grand in prize money, so that will send us flying up the rankings at the end. It'll take us on to 190,000, which at the moment could put us in 24th place. Of course it partly depends on who else has got through, but we're certainly looking forward to this one next time round. Of course the match length has increased again, so even on the shortest setting it's 7 frames, so it is going to be a very exciting one, but one I'm very much looking forward to. It'll be a much bigger test of our concentration, which did do pretty well against Kyren Wilson actually, but we will need to rattle off a couple of frames quickly if we are hoping to get through comfortably. So if you did enjoy this episode and a pretty good performance against Kyren Wilson, please do put a thumbs up on the video. It looks like we're coming into form at the right time, winning safety battles. Again we outpaced Kyren Wilson with one of those, and we looked pretty confident once we were in amongst the balls. A couple of difficult positional shots, but when we were in amongst the red and the higher value colours, we didn't look like missing anything. Loads of prize money in the bag and just 2 games away from that final, and it could be the most glorious end to the series, but of course there's plenty of room for things to go wrong yet. Let me know in the comments how you think we'll do. Do you think we're going to make it all the way, or are we going to throw it away somehow? I guess it depends on whether we maintain our form. Subscribe to the channel for weekly content from this Snooker 19 career, and come and join me next Friday to see how we get on. Can we get through to the last 4 of the World Championships, or will the young gun prove a little too good for us? We'll have new episodes from Sunday to Thursday from our Torquay United series, and then in a vacant Saturday evening slot, which was previously filled by the head coach story, we'll have announcements relating to FM20, our plans for the game, some of the features and reactions to them, and there'll also be a couple of polls as well, so you can help shape the content on the channel next year. So make sure you check out those and come along and have your say. There's also 3 episodes a week from my Cricket 19 career. That's every Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday at midday. We're moving along nicely in that one and have now reached county level, so come and see us establish ourselves and try and push for international selection. But a massive thanks for watching this one and your continued support with the series. I really do appreciate it as always, and I hope to see you next time as we get closer to our conclusion, hoping to sneak through in the quarterfinals against another young star in Jack Lisowski.